You see, what it is what it is. It don't matter about what it was, since what it was is what it was. That is to say, it isn't what it was, nor what it were. What it were is nothing like what it will be, nor will it be that which it was. You see what I'm saying here? What it was isn't what it were, nor was it what it is, but what it is will be what it is, since what it is what it be. You following me? Don't ask me how it is, because how it is how it is, which again is completely different to what it is, which in turn leads us exactly what it be. Does that answer your question? I can slow it down if you're not following. I mean, I just don't know how else to explain it to you. It is what it be.
I'm gonna get right in there. I'm just gonna fucking shave his arm hair all the way off. I'm gonna come and shave you. You wear a tank top. I'm gonna shave you. Can't save yourself.
Do you guys want to get into that already? The Isom stuff? I thought it would be like a 1 week thing, but it's like on month 6 now. And every week it gets funnier and bigger. Now, this is this week. A Christian ministry named, weirdly enough, named Isom has sued the Christian comic book creator Eric July that I've been in like a Twitter war with for 5 months, and Eric July has decided that it's my fault and that I'm going to go to prison.
Hi, Dr. Berengal Flynn here. I just want to speak to Eric July and to all the Rippaverse fans. There's a tremendous group of people out there that love this comic book, and we're not against you. We're not against the comic book. We're not against the Rippaverse, against everything that's been established and everything that's been done in the last year and a half with Isom 1 and Isom 2. And I just wanted to do a video to add some humanity to this whole equation, and also to try and explain why it is that we feel it's necessary to go down the legal route. Now, we have been in negotiation, and we had put a deadline. We made a proposal. Eric July's people came back to us with a counter sort of proposal, and we then laid down some basic guidelines we wanted to see in a settlement. And we said, well, please respond by the 10th of October. And, if not, then we're going to proceed to go a different route and to go down the line of actually going forward with the legal procedure. Well, the 10th came and went, and we did not hear back from the Rippaverse organization. And that's the only reason that we, proceeded to actually serve the lawsuit. I'm not sure why Eric July and his legal team did not come back to us.
Like, he made a YouTube video about how this guy, Dick Masterson, he won't refer to me by name, just like Maddox, that I'm going to jail at any moment now because I have duped this international school of ministry into suing him over the rights to his stupid Christian comic book Vigilante that has a cross on the penis in his comic book. I don't know how big the cock or the cross is. It probably depends, but it's weirdly positioned.
On the outfit.
It's lower than a belt buckle. His superhero uniform is like Wolverine, except it has a crucifix on his pubes. That's weird. His main nemesis is lack of motivation, I think, and lack of plot. There's no plot in either of them. Basic criticism, I believe, reduces him to a blubbering child, like Superman
I meant
being
the superhero.
I don't know. That's what everyone really is pissed about me for, reading this stupid culture war comic book and just saying like, well, this sucks. You guys are blowing money on like a guy's weird self-insert vanity project.
I'm Eric July, founder, owner, and writer. Welcome to the Rippaverse.
So Eric July's many LLCs, July Rippaverse, Publishing, etc. I'll list at Eric D. July as their registered agents. He uses a P.O. box as the address, which is illegal to do. If busted, he could lose the ability to do any business in the state of Texas.
It's particularly bad because Eric July clearly knows nothing about the law.
I mean, I don't know, like angry black guy that's like super upset by being disrespected. I don't know if that's such a great character to throw in your comic book. He really explores that theme by getting thrown out of a club by security and then spending the whole comic book seething about it and coming back at the end and picking a fight with the security guard that threw him out of the club. It's a fucking riveting culture war comic that Eric has put together. He's just kind of bigger than him. I think that's it. Yeah. So then Eric July started like flagging all of my guys. You know how these gang wars on the internet start. Okay. He started flagging all my guys for criticizing him. So one of my guys found the person who actually owned the trademark to Isom, which happened to be this 25-year-old Christian ministry, like a very upstanding organization. And he wrote them an email saying, "Hi, I'm a reporter for the Dick Show and the Biggest Problem in the Universe News. I really wanted to get more information on your partnership with Eric July and his comic book and why you let him license your name in a comic about prostitution and all this." I would like to take credit for it, but I don't technically know. They might have been working on the lawsuit for some time. Yeah, there's no way to know. All I know is it gets funnier. Now Eric goes on like panel shows because he called me a bunny because I don't know, because I guess he says I have buck teeth. I don't know. Maybe I do. So now every stream he goes on, it's just like the chat is just nonstop bunny emojis. Bunny, 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 bunny. His comic, like, I don't know if you guys follow this whole like right-wing parallel economy scam. Yeah, like your beer's gay. Buy our Israel beer. Or buy our like
Washington ale.
Right.
Yeah. Buy our Ultra, right? So, yeah, buy our candy bar. Yeah, so this is like I mean, that's what this comic is. But it made like $6 million. So he sold 6 million in copies, but it's like the average price is the lowest price is $35 for a comic book, and the average price is like 100. So I don't know why he's so upset. You guys should read Isom. I mean, all you have to do is read it and then give like an honest critique of it, and then you'll be next on Eric's hit list. Now he's going around to like all my friends saying like, "Are you with me or against me? You got to sign my loyalty pledge." So I pity the fool that doesn't sign my loyalty pledge against Dick Masterson.
What are his powers? Flying, strength? Does he have?
He doesn't know. No one knows in the comic. That was my first question: is what are his superpowers? And it's not explained in the comic what they are. Right. Yeah, like Spider-Man is like a spider guy. Superman's like really strong and stuff. Flies.
Yeah. Is it an acronym?
Well, nobody knows because he didn't explain. So he might actually have ripped it off from the International School of Ministry because it's the only other place that name shows up. Well, if they, first of all, I don't think they like people going, Isom sucks online when they read this comic book, or Eric calling people the N-word when they review Isom for the first time. I don't think that reflects well, but like legally, if they don't, he could file it first for the trademark and then they'd be fucked. Like it would be, they would both own a trademark that's competing in Christian publishing. So they have to do it. Yeah, that the Isom thing's funny too because now Eric July's fans are review bombing the ministry.
This can't review bomb a church.
Exactly. Like,
I did not feel the Lord at any point.
Like, man, my guys have never bombed or no kind of bombing a church has ever happened on my side. So I think you got to kind of take a step back because it's like they have a ton of locations. They have like 100,000 ministers. Like, I don't fuck Isom. These motherfuckers are going after my comic book. Like, man, you guys are. Eric, what are you doing, man? Why are you this sensitive to simple criticism? Like, even coming from Ethan, who's like an industry veteran, dude. It comes off as so childish and insecure. You know that, right?
I disagree. I think you're dramatizing what's happening, but I'm cool with that. You
well,
have your
read chat, buddy. Read chat, because they know. Chat always knows.
That's
You're
cool.
coming off for a guy who made $3.7 million fucking dollars that you can't take like basic story structure critiques that I didn't even invent.
Okay. I'm okay with basic story structure critique.
Okay, what's your plot?
As far as what?
Act 1, Act 2, Act 3.
Why on earth would I explain all of that? What do you mean, like going into the future for Isom 1, 2, and 3?
No, I'm talking about book 1. What's the plot? Like, what's the character's
what part did you
motivation
not
for being there?
understand? What part are you confused on? I'll answer any questions that you have. Just be direct.
Okay. What are Isom's superpowers? He's a superhero. He puts himself in danger. We need to know what kind of super abilities he has to know if he's risking his life.
Do you see him do anything super in the book?
Yeah, he gets thrown down into a car and smashed the shit out of the car. So he seems like a superhero.
What about you remember the guy that he fought, Santuan? He fought him twice. Did he do anything super during those interactions?
Yeah, he jumped off a wall and then flipped around in midair and threw him through that same wall. That's pretty super.
So that means that you at least see that he, as far as what his powers are, he's able to do some super things. What you don't know is like the origin of those powers and to what extent. And we'll get to explaining those. Just be patient. It's the first book.
Okay, so he does have superpowers? I mean,
yeah, I think when you fall from as far as he did when he got thrown onto a car
why does
by
everything have to
Yara,
be a
as well as
question?
when he jumps off a wall and then he jumps into another exit and rams him into a brick wall and the brick wall breaks. I think it's pretty obvious, and I don't have to hold the person's hand and explain that to them that he probably has powers because of regular.
Why don't you just say yes then? What's up with this like smug attitude? Why like that's kind of been my problem this whole time. Like I gave you very basic notes of
and we went through those notes. We went through those notes, no problem.
Yeah, I know you called me a hoe ass N-word while you were going through the notes. I saw that, but
yeah, I went through the notes and we talked about all of that. You called me a scammer, so yeah, that makes you a hoe ass nigga because you lying about my business. So
yeah,
I do stand by that. I want to be clear now that
your business is marketing anti-woke shit to morons.
Well, that's and you're free to that opinion. I've never marketed anything as such, but you call my business a scam. This is something that's my livelihood.
Dance on the graves
you call my business a scam, and I called you a hoe ass nigga, and now you're hearing me calling you one, and I just want to be clear. That's
you said you were going to dance on the graves of Marvel and DC comic artists.
No, what I said, no. See, you're getting a saying wrong. At least get it correct if you're going to talk about it. What I'm saying is, I said I'd moonwalk on the dead careers of comic pros is what I said.
Well, I
heard me say that on your stream as well. I said it all the time.
Is this more? This is like the assault thing. Like you get hung up on these really simple details. I can't tell if you genuinely don't understand the point, or if you're just trying to.
What point have I not addressed? What else?
You have set yourself up as an alternative to other
now you're mad. Now you're mad. Just calm down.
I am mad because you're lying. You're lying to your audience and you're lying to me.
All right, what have I lied about?
You're up as an upcoming alternative to mainstream comics, and that buying your shitty book for $40 would somehow strike a blow into Marvel and DC comics.
I think you're being disingenuous. I'll explain exactly what the point. I'll explain exactly what the point is. Am I a competitor? Yes. I have 3 principles
not
with the
Rippaverse.
You're not. All right, well, that's fine. You're free to that
you're
opinion.
Lying to your audience and you're lying to me.
I have 3 principles. We have that over there at the Rippaverse ethics. And one of those, of course, there are people that have issue. I've griped and moaned about the mainstream, and I've talked about it extensively about my certain issues. And I went through every bit of that in building my actual company. So to those people, yes, they may find that my company and the books that we make and we put out or release, publish, whatever you want to call it, the books that we put out, they might enjoy that. This idea that I'm going to topple, I believe you said that to me in a tweet, something about toppling Hollywood. That's not anything that I've ever presented to do.
Yeah, I mean, that's a euphemism because Hollywood is all Marvel now. Like Hollywood is comic books right now. So saying you're challenging mainstream comics is saying like I'm going to challenge Hollywood. Like I don't understand why you're taking issue with something that is like a fine.
That's not really my approach.
Fine to say you're challenging Hollywood. I don't know why
you're not. No, that's cool. That's inaccurate though. That's fine. That's inaccurate.
So do your customers think that that you're challenging Hollywood? Like, I don't know.
I'm gonna be honest. You're one of the few people that I've ever heard worded as such, as far as like toppling Hollywood. Like, I've never even presented myself as if I was going to do that. Now, if they feel that way, thankfully, but I'm gonna need a lot more than $3.7 million to do that.
Well, you're going to need a good story, and you don't have one.
And that's fine.
You
free to.
I
disagree.
Understand what's wrong with your story. See, your main character has no motivation. He's doing a wellness check on a girl that's the daughter of a friend of a family that goes to church. And then when he finds that girl, she doesn't even say she's in trouble. Your entire plot
it's almost as if there's going to be more. That's not a plot hole. It's almost as if there's more
plot.
to it.
It's not a plot hole. It's no plot.
Well,
there is no reason for him to be involved at all. She's not in trouble. She doesn't say she's in trouble. There's no indication she's in trouble. Your plot is literally nothing.
Okay, so do you not know why did I'm gonna ask you this question since you supposedly read it. Why did Isom go back to the club after he was thrown out the first time?
Because he was disrespected. Because he's a stand-in for you, and the only thing you care about is being disrespected.
Okay, so you just said that he had no motivations, and you just named one.
But that's not a good motivation for a hero.
If you don't like that,
a motivation for
if you don't like that as a motivation for why he was really driven to go back to that club, I'm perfectly fine with that. I just disagree.
Yeah, but it also doesn't flow from the first motivation. Like, your first motivation should be enough to start the story, and then as it evolves during the story, it should become more personal to the hero.
Well, that's exactly what happened. That's literally what happened with the disrespect.
Totally different. It's
all right. So that's literally what happened. All right, I'm gonna explain it to you. He first went, and again, you're free to disagree with that and not like it. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But he first went to see what's up with Jasmine upon the request of his sister, right? He goes and sees her. Something happens out of that, and he specifically makes it personal, right, to him and he goes through the internal dialogue as far as why he's wanting to do this. He talks about him not being a detective. He talks about the fact that this could make the issue worse, but I actually want to punch this guy in his face. He discusses each and every bit of that during the internal dialogue. You're saying, I guess, that motivation for him doing that, because I guess he has flaws and all that, is not good enough for you for the first book. That's fine with me. I just disagree.
I'm saying it's not good, and that if you want to be a comic writer, you should learn what makes good motivation.
I disagree. I think
that's the problem. Is you're a beginner. You don't know shit about this, and you disagree with everything.
Again, I can disagree with your position, but there are people that have the complete opposite position, and your word isn't gospel.
Your friends who want to suck your ass so they can get access to all that.
And that's cool with me. That's cool with me. You don't have to disrespect my customers there, but there are people that have
money. I'm disrespecting your friends.
I don't have 40,000 friends, by the way. Nonetheless, you don't have to disrespect my customers.
I'm not,
and that's cool. That's cool. If you don't like the story,
your friends.
If I don't have 40,000 friends, but if you don't like the story, that's your business. You're good.
Your friends that are telling you you're doing a good job.
All right, that's cool. That's cool, and that's fine. That's your business.
Do you not understand? Like, do you not think that you could get better by listening to some of these notes? Like,
absolutely.
Do you not understand?
To yours, I'm gonna be completely honest. To yours, no. But there are people that I can listen to whose opinion that I value. It's just not yours.
Yeah. Okay. So you think your story was good?
Yep.
What cliffhanger did it end on? Your book, the big
eye.
Yes, I read. I don't know why you're telling people I didn't read the book when I took like exhaustive notes.
Yeah, I know. You got some things fundamentally wrong, and that's why I thought that you maybe didn't read it, or maybe you was reading from someone else's notes.
I think I don't know if you're like weirdly obsessively fixated on lines that I wrote while I was reading so I could remember later, but or if you're like disingenuously misrepresenting the notes.
Like you did my book. Like you did some of the events in my book.
I think your book is a story failure.
And that's fine. That's fine, but
that's not misrepresenting it.
Well, no, misrepresenting would be like claiming that someone assaulted someone when they didn't. That would be misrepresenting.
Nah, if you don't know if somebody's if a big black guy on the street grabs a girl, that's assault in my book. And if she doesn't say like, "Oh yeah, hey, how are you?" that's assault.
Okay, all right. So putting his hand on the shoulder of someone, saying, "Hey, let me know if this is involuntary," to you is assault. All right, I for sure won't be listening to anything you have to say.
It's a joke that I'm writing these notes for myself so I remember. It's not a major thing, but Isom grabs Jasmine's shoulder, and then the security guard grabs his shoulder, and he goes, who are you to just grab somebody's shoulder? Like he just did that in the panel right before it.
No,
You don't think that's a little odd?
What he said was why is this your first instinct? Because he told him obviously in an aggressive way, which is the complete opposite of what Isom did. You see that he's grabbing him in the way that he did, and he uses that to justify whooping the guy's ass.
Yeah.
And then he walks in the club. And the other thing that you misrepresented, which is hilarious, where you try to give me advice, but the actual advice that you were talking about this earlier, the actual advice that you give me there is exactly what happened, where you say what he should have did was go in there, run in the club, warn everybody, and then get attacked. And that's exactly what happened. Yet you said that's what I should have done.
I mean, you're hung up with like small
see now I'm hung up. So you mentioned something that you say.
No.
And
I
now I'm
support
getting hung
that,
up.
but it's just not important. I support that it's just a waste of everybody's time. Like Isom comes in and says, "Ladies, if you you better leave because if you get involved, I'm going to beat your ass too." That's not a very heroic thing to say.
That's
what the bad guy in fucking RoboCop said, dude. Like I know you have no memory, no working memory of other properties. That's why your book sucks so much. But that's what bad guys say. My point was, this is why the story is not good.
Dick, the problem is that you attacked his business first. And that's why he's not listening to you. The reason why he's not receptive to what you have to say is because you attacked his business first and foremost. And then you went ahead and gave your notes about the book. And so he's mad because you called him a scammer and you attacked the woke thing. And you do that and you're going to shut somebody down and they're not going to listen to you. And that's why he's, not receptive to your notes at all and doesn't give a shit what you have to say. And that's the situation that we find ourselves in right now. So he doesn't want to hear you. And that's,
I understand. And I thank you for letting me on. I defended Eric's marketing for a year leading up to this final note taking, leading up to actually reading it. I'm pro marketing. I think the marketing is great. I think the marketing you did, Eric, was a huge success. And I thought it was great that you could, as I explained to Vito, I thought it was great that you told a story where people could spend money and feel good about what they were spending the money on. And that was what I thought the book was. That's what it represented to people who bought it. I think they bought it as a trophy to have, and that was a good thing to me. But as soon as it turned into the book is a financial marketing success to equals it's a creative success, I said, well, that's not true. The creative part is not there, and this is what could be changed. And I believe strongly that those two are separate things. And after that, it turned into a very petty and very childish flame war between us. And that's where it is.
No, that's not what happened. There's no flame war between you. Like you came in with the energy that you came in with. This is something that you take issue with what it is that I do. This is not the other way around. I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't know, other than the fact that you haven't accomplished anything in the space it is that I'm actually in. I don't know anything about you like that. And quite frankly, I don't care. It's not important by any means. Like I said, it's not like you have some sort of sense of accomplishment that would make your opinion of me or even my product that valuable like that. You've already, like to Ethan's point, you went off the rip calling me a scammer, right? You basically advocated piracy of my own product. So you essentially are knocking me, and that's cool. Like I said, that's cool with me that you're knocking me. However, I'm just not going to be listening to you of all people, and that's it. This isn't a feud. This isn't a me against you. I don't know. It's just you went after me. I don't know you like that. I'm not reviewing your stuff. I don't care to review your stuff. I don't know you like that. So it's not a feud by any means. You just took issue with it, and I'm cool with that. You don't like the story. You think the book sucks. Fine with me. We went through your criticism. Consider it a criticism of your criticism. I felt it largely lousy, pathetic. It didn't make a whole lot of sense in the context of actually reading the book. And it certainly didn't read like someone, as far as the actual write-up, like someone that even bothered to actually read it. But you claim you did. Cool. Either way, you are free to dislike it, and I'm free to reject your position on this. What I'm saying is your position ain't gospel, right? So if you don't think it's a creative success, fine. If you don't think it had a good enough story, you thought it sucked, you thought it was trash, we all good over here, homie. Other people don't feel that way. There are other people that like the book. We talk about it all the time on my stream. They have no issues with the motivation. They're excited about some of these characters it is that I've created. Your position or your opinion of me is not gospel. You are not the beacon of truth. You are not the person that is all ever knowing. You possess the knowledge to understand, because you, again, being the beacon of truth, you understand that this sucks or it doesn't. That's not how it works. You're just a dude with an opinion. And that's cool with me.
Okay, can we all agree that everybody's just buying Eric's book to have it and they're not actually reading it?
Hey, I read it. I read it
it
twice. I did read it. I read the comics I buy.
Eric, I apologize for calling you a scam artist. I don't think you are, but I glibly refer to marketing and scams as the same thing because I think they kind of are. I'm in marketing, and I it's just like a kind of joke that I say. I don't think it's a scam. I think you could work on your storytelling and get better. And I hope everybody in indie comics gets better with their stories. Eric, I apologize for calling you a scammer. I don't think you're running a scam. I want the parallel economy, but whatever, to get better. I want your thing your thing's already a success. It doesn't matter what I say. It's already a success. I want you to hear it from somebody else about story and shit, because I think writing stories is fun. I've done it for a long time, and I think you'd have fun doing it too. That's it. I'm sorry I said a bunch of mean shit. You said a bunch of mean shit too, but I don't. That's just my piece. All right.
All right.
Oh, Reverend Scott sent us something.
Oh, fantastic.
You're interested in that?
Yes, I am. I like Reverend Scott.
He reviewed Isom.
Oh, fantastic.
Ooh, Reverend Scott. He's been
Hey
around.
there, Dick and Vito. This is Reverend Scott.
Okay.
And I have a problem. A problem that not only spans Twitter and YouTube, but extends to this very podcast. That problem is the unwarranted, ignorant, total lack of respect for my new favorite anti-woke comic, Isom #1.
Wow.
It's also anti-groomer, by the way. I'm so anti-groomer, I don't even comb my own hair.
I hate groomers.
Like most people, I recently charged $600 to a credit card that I have no intentions of ever paying back in order to pay Eric July for the honor of owning every single cover of Isom I can get my hands on.
A lot of covers.
After all, it's an investment. Not only that, but I've also decided to do something that none of the other fans of the comic have yet to do. Read the comic.
Wow.
Of course, I purchased these under an alias because I, Reverend Scott, am a humble man. I'm not here for the fame and prestige associated with the utter annihilation of Marvel Comics. I, much like Isom, only seek respect. So after slipping on a pair of fresh cotton gloves, I unsleeved one of my copies of Isom, turned to page 1, and began to celebrate Juneteenth. And when I tell you my mind was blown, it's an understatement. I was instantly transported to Flores Park 2 weeks ago. Eric immediately subverts your expectations of expecting the establishment of characters or a story, or even starting at the beginning of the story. He starts before the beginning. We watch typical inept cops complaining that super people are doing their jobs for them, and then we never see them again. Who has the time? Because we're transported yet again to what we're told is even earlier, in the outskirts of Flores Park.
Yeah.
So maybe this is like 3 weeks ago. Who fucking knows? All I know that this is something Marvel would never do, and that's why it's good. We finally meet Isom, who's working out on his complete outdoor gym, surrounded by an Olympic-sized foot race track in the middle of a cattle farm. During a gripping phone call conversation, a woman we don't know alerts Isom that an employee we don't know is absent from work. And this woman is now called upon Isom to locate this girl to appease another woman we don't know, and that's called establishing a mystery. Now, I don't want to spoil the whole amazing comic, so I won't go beat for beat, but I will mention a few highlights, such as Isom's superpowers, which I've heard he has. Isom says he's no detective, and neither am I, but I've determined what some of those powers are from the amazing writing in this book.
Wow.
Such as, he's stronger than an 8-year-old girl. He's able to murder people in public without being arrested. Also, he's able to handle himself. I deduced this when Isom said, "Sis, you know I can handle myself," while still wearing a hospital gown after waking up in the hospital from being beaten the fuck up multiple times by multiple strangers within a 10-minute period. And don't get me started on character growth. Isom started as a man that would risk his own life and commit cold-blooded murder to find someone that he doesn't really know. But once he does finally find this person, purely by accident, we find out that Isom has grown beyond the need to find out any new information from her or even ensure her safety. He now has a new, more important mission: to fight more strangers over the lack of respect. We close out this masterpiece with a visit to Taylorville to retrieve Isom's custom-tailored supersuit.
Hell yeah.
I used to work in a town named Taylorville. A double-wide trailer blew up every week in a meth explosion there. But I'm from a different spot. You wouldn't understand. Maybe what I've said here today was meandering and hard to follow, but it's the first draft of my script, and that's all you really need. At the end of the day, I implore you all to blindly praise this comic. If I had to compare Isom #1 to anything, it would be The Watchmen. Well, at least the giant squid at the end that brought the whole world together to oppose it, because the squid's writing was shit. Thank you all for hearing me out. Please try to do better. Thanks for not killing yourselves. And as always, peace and love, guys.
Wow.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Thank you, Reverend Scott.
Thank you, Reverend
How was
Scott.
my Isom review?
It was perfect.
At least there's no gay guys in it. The sound clips are impeccable. Good work.
Okay, my problem is charity fraud. Do you know what charity fraud is?
Well,
the
I would imagine
IRS.
that's fraud involving a charity.
Yeah, I found that.
Oh, does the IRS
here.
define charity fraud?
Yeah, it's up. It's estimated that charitable organizations will lose 5% of their revenue each year due to fraud. Wow, can you believe that? That's a lot of fraud. Charity fraud schemes seek donations for organizations that do little or no work. How about that? So the charity itself does little. Instead, the money goes to the fake charity's creator. That's pretty bad. While these scams can happen at any time, they're especially prevalent after high-profile disasters. Yeah, you know, criminals often use tragedies to exploit you. Charity fraud scams can come to you in many forms: emails, social media, crowdfunding platforms. Wow. Cold calls, etc. Always use caution.
Please use caution when engaging on crowdfunding platforms.
Yeah, so like, say if you were
Especially
to say,
crowdfunding platforms that are just put up by a guy as opposed to on a reputable crowdfunding site.
Yeah. So if you were to say like, okay, buy here, like if you have a comic book, right?
Sure.
Super Killer. So if you were to put copies up at half price, how much is a copy of Super Killer?
I'm selling them for $25.
So if you said I'm going to put it up for
$12.50.
Yeah. Because that's my cost, right?
Right.
And if you said that's my cost, like when all is said and done, that's how much I'm paying.
Sure.
Take my word for it. So you can get a charity copy for Super Killer at $12.50 at cost, and then I'm going to give this to a comic book, a guy that gives comic books to kids with cancer.
Sick kids. Wow.
Sick kids with cancer.
Are going to get a comic book if you give me $12.50.
Yeah, and then everyone said, "Oh man, that's awesome. Here's a bunch of."
I don't want sick kids to not have comic books.
Send 10 kids a copy of your "I love everything that you're doing."
Yeah. Well, what could be a problem with that?
That's charity fraud.
Oh no! What? How, Dick? How?
Because you're not allowed to charge your operating expenses for a product that you're giving away.
Really?
Yeah, you're not. That's called profit.
Right.
That's called charity fraud.
Right.
What you are allowed to do is collect money for it. What you are allowed to do is give product away, write it off. I'm giving 1,000 copies of Super Killer to somebody, and I'm writing that off at about $4,000 worth of charity.
Right.
But what you're not allowed to do is charge $17 and say, here's a bunch of fucking comics.
Did you talk to anybody about this? Did you look this up?
At Eric July's charity thing?
No,
at an unrelated topic that we're not talking about right now,
Right.
that Eric July was offering charity copies of Isom
for $17, which is half of his $35 asking price.
For two sick kids with cancer.
Right.
So we contacted that charity.
comic books.
Is there
for
enough
kids.
backstory for comic books for kids?
Okay.
Yeah. And at first I thought maybe I shouldn't talk about this because I don't want to fuck up that guy's deal. The comic book charity guys.
Sure.
Yeah, but then I thought, fuck it.
All right, so
charity fraud
losses.
Charity fraud losses are up 44%.
Wow.
2022. Wow. Because of all the GoFundMe shit. Because you can just say anything.
You can just say I have cancer.
Run anything
and get
however you want.
$100,000, yeah.
Collect tons of money, right? Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Like my fraud where I tell people I need money to make a comic book, but I'm just going to run away with it and go, no, there's no fraud there.
Could be. Potentially.
I mean, I could be lying.
Yeah.
Anybody could be. You gotta look into these things. You gotta trust the person running it.
Yeah.
Some
like the American Red Cross, for example.
Yeah, there's some Kickstarters out there that have never delivered.
Because I've been arguing with people online after I spurged out. After I asked some simple questions of, well, how much of this money that Eric July's raking in is he giving to the charity? Because it should be,
let me make this very clear for people. So if the cost to print your book is $5, and then you charge somebody $17.50 to donate it to charity, that means you've made $12.50 and they've donated $5 to charity.
Yeah.
You've donated nothing. The person selling the book, you have actually made a profit disguised as a charitable
I think you might have made
contribution.
$17. I got to check on that.
Well, it's not pure profit because the cost of the
You
book
can
itself.
give shit away and write it off, but I don't know if you can take money for it and then give it away.
Well,
I don't know if that's the same.
I'm thinking of a charity bake drive. Are you allowed to recoup, the cost of what it costs you
the
to make
flour and stuff?
the flour and the eggs?
Maybe.
And everything else?
Yeah.
I would think they would allow you to recoup your basic costs.
But not the labor involved, not the fucking guys shipping shit to the warehouse, not all that stuff. I don't think.
Yeah, because you're not part of the charity. If it was the charity can recoup that.
All I know is if the charity that you're getting money for is not getting more than 66% of the money coming in, you're doing something shady.
If you're making a profit from charity, you're doing something extremely shady. Like
if the charity is ending up with no money and just a
Right.
bunch of shitty comic books that they didn't want that you could find in dumpsters all over the fucking world that any comic shop has storage containers full of, if they're ending up with just a bunch of paper trash and no money, which is what they want, then you are scamming people.
Well, that's what's also complicated is that you go, well, we donated 1,000 books. That's technically, if the cost of the book is $35, that's like we donated $35,000.
It's not though.
And then you go, well, it's not because 1,000 comic books to that charity is worth
nothing,
about a penny. You've given that charity basically nothing.
Nothing.
They can go.
I can go
on eBay right now and buy 100 comic books for $50. So you've given them about $500.
I don't go to Goodwill.
Not $35,000.
And drop a suit off and go, well, there's a $360 donation for you. I think a Mexican guy will enjoy that in the bins that you've got. You go ahead, tell people what happened before I get too into it.
Well, what happened was that somebody reached out and talked to the charity, right, to find out was Eric just charging money to give them just books?
Eric July puts up $17 copy of Isom, which is exactly half of what it is, and he says on Twitter that that's his operating expense. That's his nut.
He's saying $17.50 is the break-even point.
Price, which is it's either a lie or he's an idiot.
It's either a lie or he's the worst businessman who ever lived.
Yeah. That's horrible.
If you're not making a profit,
I've shipped a lot of stuff, so I know enough about shipping to know that you are fucking up big time. If that's your
that would mean
that's your cost.
Your precious warehouse, you must be paying a fortune, and all these employees or whatever else. If you can't break even without selling a comic for $17.50, that's fucking nuts.
So I said, well, how much is the charity getting of money? I know how charity works. They need money.
Right.
How much is this charity getting of money? I didn't get an answer. Because Eric July is not talking about me directly anymore.
He's not talking about me directly either.
Yeah, everyone got the ixnay on these guys because you're getting they're embarrassing you and you're fucking up your brand and they're never going to fucking stop. So stop engaging with them.
I'm pretty sure
retarded.
Eric July went to his people and said, don't talk about Dick Masterson and Vito Gesualdi They have very legitimate criticisms. Yeah, honestly, I'm like, oh, this is nice. Finally, these guys are not sniping me anymore.
So I said, how much is the charity getting, though? How much of this money is the charity getting? I need to know. It's important. I need to know. You say on your website that you can get a charity deduction because you're charging people $100, $200, $300 to send kids with cancer, you shitty comic book. How much of the money is going to the fucking charity? How much of that? What's the percentage? What did you tell them?
Right.
So a listener contacted the charity company. And this is where I said, well, I probably shouldn't say this kind of stuff because it'll fuck up this guy's deal. But again,
it's already happened.
Fuck it.
Honestly, I've looked into this charity and it seems like it's just a guy running it out of his garage. So
yeah.
It's not like a big organization.
So this is the line that's important. The guy said, Eric, whom I've never met, reached out to me a couple weeks ago and told me that he was an indie creator who wanted to donate books to both the kiddos and the charity. Here it is. Wanted to donate books to both the kiddos and the charity.
Books.
Now, this was right when I started being an asshole about the money.
Yeah.
Because I'm an asshole for fun. I like it. If I can say I'm doing it for kids,
yeah.
It's just a socially acceptable way for me to act like a psychopath.
Yeah.
See? So this is a big opportunity for me to be cruel to people.
I think this is also, it's really important that
it's called motivation.
Eric reached out and said he wanted to donate books. Did he say, I'm going to charge people money for me to donate the books?
I did give him the green light
insane.
To donate what he wanted, as long as there was no nudity, profanity, or other inappropriate content in there.
But he just gave him the green light to donate books. He didn't say, like, yeah, it's cool for you to sell them and then donate them.
Well, he doesn't, yeah.
But here's the thing. If Eric did a thing where he said, listen, for every 50 books I sell, I'm going to donate one to charity, that would be totally reasonable.
It would be,
it
would be stupid, but it would be fine.
Yeah.
Charging people money, and the money, it's not clear how much money is going to charity, is a big fucking problem for me.
I genuinely think he might have broke the law and is now like scrambling to cover his tracks.
He says, this is from the guy, Eric has informed me, and this was before I started on it.
Yeah.
Eric has informed me that he received donations for 800 books. While I would have loved that to be donations of money, this year has been brutal in terms of donations. I think we will receive what he has committed, which is above the books, right?
Yeah.
No mention of money here.
It's fascinating that he was. I was actually surprised how honest he was, where he's like, "Well, we actually just want money, but if he's going to send us comic books, I guess we'll take them." I was like, "Well, at least he's honest about it."
It's good that he was honest because I saw this and then just started being a bigger jerk.
Yeah.
Online 2 days later. Interestingly enough, he says, we're not hurting for product donations as we receive so much product.
Yeah.
What is challenging for us is the money to pay for shipping, pay the lease space, boxes, and suppliers.
I mean, like, a lot of people are really mad at you for, like, calling this out, but, like, the guy at the charity is confirming it. He's saying, we don't need comics.
Yeah.
We have we probably have, like, shipping container or whatever, shipping.
We don't need comics. We definitely don't need fucking no-name Isom comics. We need Superman, Flash. These kids have fucking cancer.
Well,
they don't have 10 years
Superman
to sit
and Flash
around waiting to see what Isom's powers are. And why Jasmine's
there are guys who own comic shops and there's comics that go unsold and they'll just go, you know what, I'm just going to donate 10,000 comics out of my back lot because they're worth nothing and just send them to charity.
So
1,000 Isom comics giving them to kids is like
garbage.
Yeah, that's like giving kids nothing.
I have to store it.
It's giving them nothing.
So 2 days after I start in on the how much money?
I mean, maybe
maybe
the cancer kids can sell Isom on eBay and get a little
probably
something.
can.
That's smart.
A dickhead is.
Yeah.
He's seeing how high he can charge people on eBay.
Oh, I've been
Eric
talking to that
fans.
same guy.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he's been doing good.
2 days after I started in with, where's the money? Where's the money, Lebowski? Where's the money, shithead? This guy who we were talking to makes a post on Facebook saying, wow, unbelievable. Eric July's committed to sending us $8,000.
Yeah. So
kind of a random amount. Isn't it? Kind of like a maybe this will make it go away amount. Because in my mind, I don't really understand how that maps to
I can't
the
figure out the
price
math.
of.
Yeah.
So if I bought 10 as charity and I want a charity receipt, like you say I can get on the website, how much of that was going? I don't think it works like that. I don't think I'm the giver legally. I think you are for giving the money.
Oh, yeah, he's going to get to write the $8,000 off. So that, you're right. This makes no sense. Who gets to write off this charity?
I think I caused that. I caused the $8,000 donation of, oh, bro, you're fucking around. You need to give them this money.
I honestly think he was breaking the law with what he's doing. I don't think you can make money and claim it's a charitable donation.
Yeah.
Like if I go, hey, give me $30 to help kids with cancer. 25 of that goes to my operating costs. It's like, well, you told me $30 was going to kids with cancer. Like, well, we got to cover this and, the printing and the blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
If 66% is not going to the charity, you are definitely a scumbag.
Yeah.
But you are doing some shady shit. And this is American Red Cross is like 95% goes or 90% or something like that goes.
Eric's also not the first guy to do this. I was telling you there's another.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, there's another Kickstarter guy who I was looking at his numbers and I'm like, how did he sell so many books? And then I'm looking and it's like
charity.
Yeah, charity. It's like people were buying this like pack for like $300. $300, I donate 10 copies of my book to charity. And I go, but you just get $300 and the charity gets 10 books. Which the value of a book to them is about 25 cents.
Yeah.
So you're donating them $2
Let's see the math
and
on
making
that, then, buddy boy.
Like even your opera, they don't need books. Is at the end of that point?
Yeah,
it would be way better. Just fine. This is a bad charity, first of all. I mean, the idea of the charity is fine, giving comic books to kids.
Yeah,
but the second people came to him and said, "Hey, can I sell copies of my book to then donate?"
What's he gonna say?
No. Yes. No.
No, that's bullshit. No, no. I disagree.
I would say, why don't you just
get the word out there? Yeah. Do whatever.
Okay,
get the word out, and then somebody else sees it, and then
as long as it comes along,
a nice person, who's a good person.
Sure. As long as it comes along with a monetary donation as well, we'll be happy to promote your little indie book.
Okay. Yeah.
Sure.
So this is the final email that I got after the guy said, "Yeah, he's giving us $8,000," which I caused,
which still might not even add up.
It doesn't. It's still not enough.
Right.
Eric says he sold 1,200 copies.
Right.
At $17
and I would estimate his printing cost at about $4 or $5 a copy at most.
1,200,
which would mean that's
times
$1,250 profit.
2/3 of that is $13,000. So you're about $5,000 short, bud. You're about $6,000 short.
Yeah, I don't know if making a token, and he's still selling books for charity, and again pocketing.
Let's go.
The money. So
Pony up, bud.
Unless
Cough
he
it up.
raises the amount.
See that fucking money, bro.
Well, he should have a thing on the site that specifically as he sells more books for charity, the amount of money being donated to charity should also go up.
Yeah.
You can't just go, here's $8,000. Now everybody keep buying my book for charity.
Is this breast cancer awareness? Is this a licensing fee?
The worst part of all this, though, is all the people going, he's donating comic books to charity.
He's not.
Like, don't you understand he's doing a good thing? And I'm like,
I understand.
No, he's not doing a good thing. Like,
the worst thing is when I get told, well, they all do this. Like, Doctors Without Borders does not fucking pocket 90% of your money and then stitch up one hair lip in Africa, you shithead.
Right.
The whole world is not a scam. Just what you guys do is a scam. So this was the final email from the guy.
And I want to say one thing right now, real quick. If we're wrong, Eric can just tell us why. And say,
just show me the percentage of the money that's
how
going
much
to
we're
the guy.
spending. Here, how much money is going to this guy.
Yeah.
But without this information,
show me the email before where you said, I'm going to give you this and the money.
Sure.
That's it. No problem. I don't care. That's all I wanted.
Yeah. If we're wrong, we'd be happy to be wrong. But as is, we look at this and we go,
looks like a scam.
Not only does this look like a scam, I genuinely think that if you went to like a lawyer or something, you go, oh, this is drastically illegal. Like you're going. I'm saying this.
I don't know about that
for Eric's own benefit. Where I'm like, you might get sued for charity fraud. Like it's not. You don't want that.
This is what he says. I was about the $8,000. I was very surprised, but it does help.
He was
I was very surprised. It's funny.
Meaning that Eric had never brought up money ever before.
When you gave me my cut of Patreon, I wasn't very surprised.
You knew it was coming.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
I kind of had a idea in my head of where it would about be. Wow, look at all this money! Next week we start a shipping cycle that'll cost us $3,500 in a lease. It's something.
Again, these guys need money to ship the comics. They don't need. I don't want this to become a thing where every one of these indie comics guys is now going to go
profiting off of cancer
let's
kids.
profit off cancer kids. Like this is bad. What is happening?
Yeah.
It
also is suspicious that the money was $17, which is exactly the break-even cost. Because if it's for charity, it should be a whatever amount.
All right.
It's like, do you want to do it for charity? Like, yeah, $20, and all of it goes to charity.
I believe that Eric's break-even point is $17 when he made $3.4 million on his first comic.
I do.
I mean, that it's possible if he's like,
look at all the people he hired.
Tremendously bad at running his company, and he's actually paying all those people a full-time wage to do basically nothing.
Argue on Reddit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he's doing that, then okay, maybe he is just a terrible businessman.
Yes. Okay. What's your problem?
Fascinating.
Charity fraud.
Charity fraud.
You got to watch out for it.
Were you trying to ruin Eric's business?
With the charity? No.
Are you trying to ruin Eric's business now?
Yeah. I don't think anyone should buy Eric's comics. Money spent.
You're trying to ruin his business now?
Yeah. No one should buy Eric's comics. Money spent in the pursuit of bad art is wasted money. Money should be spent.
Wait, you're trying to ruin his business because of bad art?
Yeah. His art's terrible.
Not because of the charity shit.
No, I don't care about the charity shit.
You don't care about the charity shit? Why'd you talk about the charity shit so much?
Well, I think dumb people are giving more money to Eric thinking that they're helping charity, and I think they should keep their money.
Do you think charity is do you think Eric is scamming the charity?
Man. Yes. I think
okay, look, stop.
Okay.
I get that you thought before, but after you contacted the charity, and I talked to Eric about this,
yeah,
I'm pretty clear. He says there's an existing agreement, and I take him at his word. I don't. You don't know. I don't believe your opinion. I understand where your opinion is coming from, but I don't believe it. So, you think that even after Eric took money for charity, you called him out. You called the charity made a post. He made a subsequent donation. Doesn't that alleviate any problems you perceived with it? Like, isn't he okay now?
No, I don't think he gave them enough, number one. And number two,
how much should he have given them?
100%. At least 95%. If he collected whatever he collected.
What percentage did he give him?
I don't know.
So he might have given them 100%.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So why are you suggesting that he gave you otherwise? What reason do you have to believe that?
Because I haven't heard him say what the numbers are. Say what the numbers are, and it's fine.
What if he doesn't want to say it? Like, what if he doesn't want to give you any fucking ammo? Like, honestly, no, seriously, seriously. And people are gonna say whatever about me, but legitimately, right now, because I actually don't think this is germane to the issue, and I'm gonna ask you the hard question.
Go for it.
Why should Eric tell you what he gave to the charity?
We should be proud of it.
Why though? Like, because that's validating you. You're a fucking asshole.
No, it's validating the charity because it sets a
precedent.
Not
validating the charity.
No. Hold on. You asked me a question.
No, stop it. The charity made a statement. They said they were happy. They loved Eric. He was giving them money. Why are you doing this?
Because it sets a precedent for other people that deal with charities. You cannot use charity as a marketing tool and not give them what they're owed. They're owed money. But somebody has to defend the fucking charities.
The charity said they liked it.
Well, of course they would. They like any money, but Nick, they can't be the bad guy. If somebody's got to watch out for charities, it's somebody else because it risks their business relationship with these guys. If they got $1, they'd be happy. I'd be happy if they got 100% of the dollars.
Look, if I tell a charity I'm going to give them $10,000 and I give them $1,000, the charity can say, you know what, Nick told me they were going to give me $10,000. They gave me $1,000. We really appreciate the money, but we are a charity. We're really trying to help kids. Are you saying they wouldn't do that ever?
They would not do that.
They would never call someone out.
No, a charity would not. A charity that's one guy in a fucking room trying to deliver comics to veterans and kids would not risk blowing their reputation with Eric, who's a fucking insane narcissist, over a couple $1,000s. They're just going to keep going.
A couple $1,000 is their fucking 3-month operating budget. You really think they won't ask for that? They won't say, hey, you know what? Eric has pledged more money. We're really happy to be doing business with him. We know that future donations are going to come in as they're fulfilled.
I don't think they would confront him about it. No.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay, so let me get this straight. So the charity makes a statement, and I get it. You say the charity is not going to be, they're not going to be public about this. They're not going to say anything. They make a statement, but then let's be honest, they made a statement, and then Eric gave more money to the charity, actually in excess of even what people expected, right?
I don't know that. I don't know
You
what
don't know
people
that.
No, I don't know what people expected, and I don't know the total of what he gave them. I know the post said $8,000, but I don't know how much of that
$8,000 is a lot of money, right?
It's a lot,
It's
but
what?
it's
It's
it's not all
1,500
of it.
comics. It's 1,500 comics, right?
It's 1,500 comics at $17 a piece or $15 a piece. So
Okay,
I don't know how
hold
much
on,
the
hold on.
total that is.
Okay, stop though. Hold on. Calculator. 1,500 divided by wait, no, it's 8,000. Shit. It's hard. I'm not Asian. $8,000 divided by 1,500. $5. That's $5.33 of pure gain per book. That's a lot.
No, it
Because we
isn't.
know
Not at
he's
$17.
he's
So what's he
selling
pocketing $10 a piece?
He's selling the book for $35.
Oh, yeah, but what's it cost him? $250 a piece?
I don't know. No,
well, I
like,
don't know either.
Listen,
I mean, what's the problem with asking for
Stop, though.
transparency and charity?
Okay, hold on though. You are drawing your number from Vito, right? Vito said, "Well, it's got to be $3 a book."
No. I'm drawing it from. They had a transparent Rippaverse. I mean, first common sense. How much does a fucking comic book cost? Like $250?
I don't know.
Well, Eric posted about it. Eric posted on his site that he bought like 50,000 copies for $125,000. That's $250 a piece. There you go. That's cost. That's a fucking write-off. But where's the money? The money isn't the write-off in the product that was sold. The money is the money collected. Give all the money to the fucking charity.
What about the labor?
Fuck the labor. They're already working.
Fuck the labor. Like,
fuck the labor.
No, but you can donate the labor. You can donate the value of the labor and ask that to be part of the donation. That's not
how much was that?
Well, you say it's $250 per book, but look,
cost of the book.
Okay, I get that the cost of 50,000 orders is $250 per book.
Yeah,
but I don't know that that's the cost that they paid for the books that are in inventory, right? Because look, I get it. Hold on for just a second. If I order 50,000 books, it's $250 per book. I don't know how they did their ordering. So let's say they ordered 10,000 lots of 10,000 rather than lots of 50, right? So we say, book costs more than $250. Okay.
No, that's okay. All right, let's just say it.
If you're at lots of 10,000 versus lots of 50,000, obviously.
Yeah, but you have a mix of inventory. You can't just say like, oh, we're arbitrarily deciding that the ones we paid more for are the ones we're giving to cancer kids. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Actually, with accounting, you can.
Well, with accounting, you can say it's $35 a piece. But my point is, where'd the cash go, Lebowski? Where's the fucking money?
You're being cynical and saying, well, with accounting, you can say whatever. But like, let's be honest with accounting. Yeah. If you're ordering lots of 10,000 versus lots of 50,000,
okay,
50,000 is $2.50 a book.
Right.
A lot of 50,000, a lot of 10,000 costs more. Maybe it's $4 a book. Maybe it's $5. I don't know. I'm not a publisher.
Sure.
But let's say it's $5 a book. Now let's say you get the book in, it's inventoried for a couple months. A guy goes out, he has to pull one book off a shelf, not 10, not 100, not 500. He's pull one book off a shelf. He has to drive his forklift over there. He has to get out. He has to put one book on the fucking pallet. And then he drives over to the rest of the pallet. He puts it down. It takes some time. It takes some effort. It takes some inventory. And he has to do that 50 times. Let's say. Now, look, I get.
One book?
No, listen, I get the reality of if you have 50 individual orders, right? Like, I get this, that you can go ahead and say, you're not pulling 50 individual books. You're pulling 50 books that are attributed to individual orders. But the labor cost of pulling 50 individual books would be X. Okay.
It would be like an hour. They made a pallet of the books they donated. They took a picture of it.
So you don't think it costs $17 per book, even if it's a literal one-off order?
No, I think max you can charge for fulfilling one book at a 3PL is 25 cents.
Really?
Yeah.
25 cents, but you said it's $250 a book.
Pack $250 for the printing of the book. To take the book, put it in a package, 25 cents. To take 1,000 books, put them on a pallet, I'm gonna say maybe 5 hours of work, maybe $200 spread across 1,000 books. That's a couple cents.
So you think that Eric July scammed a charity? At least he was starting to. But will you admit for the world that he has reciprocated and probably compensated, and I would even suggest overcompensated for what was accused of him. So he has given more to the charity than he expected to.
I have no idea what he expected to give. I don't know what he gave. I know they said $8,000. That's it. I don't know
given $8,000 to a charity. Should he have given $8,000 to this charity?
He should have given all of the money that he collected for those comics to the charity. Nobody wants to read fucking Isom.
1,500 books. Do you not think he gave $8,000 of value to that charity plus the books?
I don't give a fuck what he thinks the value is. He should have given all of it.
I'm not saying what he thinks the value is. I think so all of value. Let's do this. We're gonna do this because this is where I legitimately disagree with you. So
I know
8,000 divided by 1,500.
Yeah,
this is $5 a book.
Yeah,
plus the book.
Yeah.
Do you not think that $5.33 a book plus the book is a legitimate gift? He gives 1,500 books, $8,000 as $17 a book. Look, I will not say.
Now, don't ask questions and then start talking.
I'm going to start talking because it's my show, you fucking loser. Look, I'm going to say that I think that $17 may have been an overvaluation, not in bad faith. I think it may have been an overvaluation, but I do say this. I've known a lot of guys who've done indie projects, and I think that $5.33 a book plus the book itself, $17 is actually very fair. I think that's a fair amount of money for him to give. And I actually think he ended up giving more than that.
$5 a book?
No, I think he gave the book plus $5 in charity money.
But you haven't even read Isom. You don't realize like the book is a negative.
I don't care if the book is
you should pay people to read Isom.
It doesn't matter if the book sucks or is good, Dick. All that matters is what the production cost is. I think the production cost of the book plus $5.33 a book, plus I think he ended up giving more than 8,000.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he outgave what he promised.
And why did he give that $8,000?
I don't give a shit. He promised.
Was it after I started harassing him or not? Do you know?
Like, no, I don't know. But I don't know. But listen, do you know if he had a pre-existing agreement with this company?
No, and it would be very easy for him to solve this confusion by saying explicitly, proceeds, this is when I said this, and this is when I gave them this.
That's what he did last night. Last night, he
was a fucking marble mouth retard. He didn't make one fucking sentence clear last night.
Stop. Look, there were issues last night which were unclear. I'm with you on that. I've talked about them already on the show. But last night he said very clearly, and I said, and I challenged him on this. I want to be very clear. I challenged him on this. I said, the public can't know this. And he said, we've made it public. We've talked about it. And I said, but without the documents, we don't know. And he said, yeah, whatever. And I said, I don't think you should show the documents, to be clear. I do not think he has any duty to do that.
Why?
We're not the IRS, Dick. Now he might want to. No, but you are just an asshole who doesn't like Eric July.
No, I want the charity to not get used by these comic faggots.
Okay,
all of these guys are trying to sell comics for charity. They're pretending to be nice guys to sell their shitty comics. That's the issue.
Do you actually think that Eric committed a fraud on charity? Like, because I can't get there, man. I'm sitting here and look.
Yeah, but you don't have to, Nick.
No, stop. I get your argument. You're like, he was going to commit fraud, but I called him out, and then he had to backpedal and donate money.
Yeah,
a couple times. Eric clarified yesterday. I have no reason to disbelieve him, and I have no reason to believe you on this because you don't know. You've said you've never seen an agreement between anybody.
Okay, let me say this.
No, I'm not done. I'm not done. Just a second. He said you've never seen an agreement. So Eric comes on and he says we had a pre-existing agreement. We gave them books. We gave them money. And then later, as more money came in, we gave them more money and we gave more than what the cost of the books would be.
So this was the final email. This is what he says. I was about the $8,000. I was very surprised, but it does help.
He was
I was very surprised. It's funny.
Meaning that Eric had never brought up money ever before.
When you gave me my cut of Patreon, I wasn't very surprised.
You knew it was coming.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
I kind of had a idea in my head of where it would about be.
So Eric comes on and he says we had a pre-existing agreement. We gave them books, we gave them money, and then later, as more money came in, we gave them more money, and we gave more than what the cost of the books would be. Why would I disbelieve him? Why would I believe you? You don't have any data. I legitimately have no reason to believe you or Vito's conclusions about Eric, because while I can think you are genuine in your beliefs, I can similarly say you can be wrong. So I take Eric at his word that he had pre-existing agreement with the charity to accept money. He says he accepted money before. They delivered the comics. Charity made a statement. They delivered money after. I asked Eric very specifically, do you see how someone who hates you and doesn't believe you could see that as fraud? But dude, honestly, do you see how people who believe Eric and legitimately think he's a good guy, which I ultimately do, can think that even though you think it's a fraud, he actually had a pre-existing agreement to give them money. He gave them money.
So this was the final email. This is what he says. About the $8,000, I was very surprised, but it does help.
I
was very surprised. It's funny.
Meaning that Eric had never brought up money ever before.
When you gave me my cut of Patreon, I wasn't very surprised.
You knew it was coming.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
I kind of had a idea in my head of where it would about be.
I think that even though you think it's a fraud, he actually had a pre-existing agreement to give them money. He gave them money, and it's not untoward. He just has bad fucking verbiage. And I've said this openly. He had bad answers for the charity. I don't think he did anything wrong. I think he had bad answers. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I believe Eric 100% that he had this agreement with the charity, and he probably gave them more than what the agreement was.
So this was the final email. This is what he says. About the $8,000, I was very surprised, but it does help.
I was
very surprised. It's funny.
Meaning that Eric had never brought up money ever before.
When you gave me my cut of Patreon, I wasn't very surprised.
You knew it was coming.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
I kind of had a idea in my head of where it would about be.
But he had this agreement with the charity, and he probably gave them more than what the agreement was. Why should I believe you?
I don't think you need to believe me. I can easily understand why people would believe Eric and why you would believe him. And
of course I believe him. This is the thing people don't understand. I don't have any reason to not believe Eric. I take him at his word. I take you at your word. I think that you might be wrong. And
that's fine.
To be clear.
Well, you interrupted my answer here.
Yeah, I'm going to let you finish, but this is my show. Fuck off. To be very clear, I do think that on the charity, that though he has answered poorly, and I've called him out on it, I think you are ultimately wrong on the truth of it. I think that Eric has been on the up and up on the charity.
So this was the final email. This is what he says. About the $8,000, I was very surprised, but it does help. I was very surprised. It's funny.
Meaning that Eric had never brought up money ever before.
When you gave me my cut of Patreon, I wasn't very surprised.
You knew it was coming.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
I kind of had a idea in my head of where it would about be.
That though he has answered poorly, and I've called him out on it, I think you are ultimately wrong on the truth of it. I think that Eric has been on the up and up on the charity.
That's fine. It doesn't bother me if people believe or don't believe Eric. What I have seen in Eric's behavior is that he lies about everything. He lies.
I don't think so. I don't think he lies.
You have to let me talk. You have to fucking let me. I feel like I'm talking to Eric here. Why don't you go find some shoe polish and fucking paint yourself black and interrupt me some more? Come on, that's twice.
I don't need to be black to interrupt you. I'm just gonna be me.
What do you want to put soul plane on so you can fucking interrupt it?
No, I'll let you finish. I'm just I'm just saying because I'm reacting. And look, I'm way more drunk now than I was with Eric. Okay, so
I know.
forgive me, but
I'm not
legitimately,
sandbagging you. I'm just explaining my opinion.
I know you're not. I'm probably sandbagging you. I'm not trying to. It's just my reaction. Sorry.
You're
Go ahead and
definitely
finish. I
sandbagging.
will let you finish your point.
I think there's many cases where Eric has misrepresented facts. For example, Riley coming to his place, he lied about the parking area. He lied about there being some kind of threat on his person. I think there's many occasions of him lying. It's when you have a charity with these guys of collecting money and giving money to a charity who has absolutely no voice, and you're using them to pull money in. Their businesses are touch and go. I think that these guys need to be very clear on what they're doing and what they're giving. All proceeds of this book go to this charity. For every copy that you buy, we're giving $10 to charity. You can't buy in bulk to send more money to charity. I
agree with. I'm not trying to interrupt you. This I agree with.
And this would solve so many issues. But I will say this, if there is any confusion, if there is any hint of impropriety, I will hammer you like the fucking sun. If I think there is any amount of money being withheld, or even if you're late on a payment by a fucking hour, I will come in like a fucking hurricane and hammer you for that. And all
dude,
I saw
I pay
was
shit late all the time.
Not to a fucking charity, dude. Not to a fucking charity. You do not. I know you fucking don't. The bank, yeah, fuck banks.
I wouldn't do it to charity. You're right.
Not to a charity.
Stop. Okay, go on. Sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I mean, I did.
If Eric is right, everybody gets the money. I'm the asshole. I don't give a shit. If I'm right, you guys got a lot bigger problems than me. If you're comfortable with that, whatever you're comfortable with that, go deal with it. You all see the evidence. You see fucking marble mouth Eric try to explain what's happening with his charity when all you have to say is, here's the deal. They make X. How much did it cost to send the charity? Well, actually, it costs $14 or $13. And that, you don't know. You could fucking double up and pay $12 to charity. But now the book is available for $5. So if you pay us $5, man, you palleted 1,100 books, which are worthless. That's just storage. Storing comics is a burden to a charity. They have tons of comics. They only need money. Give them the fucking money.
Liquidating books after the fact has nothing to do with a charity at the time. Like, you can at least admit that. Like, I know it's easy. It's an easy point to say, oh, you got promo code pull up. You're going to sell your book for $5. It was $30 before. It's $5. $17 is ridiculous. But I think even you can admit, because you would, I think we've talked about this. You would say, correct me if I'm wrong, Eric is a bad business person who over-ordered and over-inventoried a book that he couldn't retail, and it sat in his warehouse and cost him money. So selling at $5 a book and liquidating out inventory that shouldn't be there has no actual impact on the real original cost of books, shipping, charity, whatever, right? Like, we can admit that, right? If he's selling Isom #1 at $5, he's probably selling it as loss.
Why? You think it costs more than $5 to make that shit?
No, but I think it costs more than $5 to inventory it until now.
Let me ask you something. Do you think I honestly believe that Eric has perpetrated some kind of fraud?
I don't know. Do you?
Yeah.
You do believe that?
Yeah.
I actually don't.
Do you believe that I believe it?
Dude, I have this problem because I know you.
Yeah.
I think you will say you believe it whether you do or not.
Yeah.
That's true, right?
No, I don't think so. That I will say whether I do or not. No.
If you didn't believe it, you would say, I don't believe Eric has a fraud? You would say that?
Yeah, I wouldn't even have started on it. I mean, I would have investigated it, but like given it up.
I don't know if I like. Look, I love you. You know this. Super gay for you. You're my partner. But at the same time, I don't know if I actually believe you on that.
Yeah.
I think
I'm making it up.
No, I don't think you're making it up. I think you would justify it to yourself. I think you would convince yourself that you think the bad thing, because I legitimate, and look, I don't care why. And I know you, and I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. And I think you
don't have to.
I know I don't have to, but I did it for Eric and I do it for you. This is the objective thing that I'm talking about that he didn't understand. I think that you actually, despite being a troll and an asshole, have a nose or a radar for things that are offensive to you. People are like, why would I believe a troll? I'm like, well, just because someone's a troll doesn't believe they never care. That's not a real thing. So I don't believe that about Dick, but at the same time, I do think that it would be beneficial to you. It would serve your argument to ignore the possibility that you're wrong.
By the way, the Eric July heads and some of the Comicsgate people were so pissed at Rick Hate over this, and they've been bitching at him all day. And they're low IQ.
Hey, man, what's shaking?
What's up? What's up, man? What's up?
Too much drama, man. Too much drama. And I think there's a lot of misunderstanding going on. But look, let's just be out with it. Be fully frank. I'm good with that. I want to bury all this shit because I hate this stuff. So, what you got for me, man?
Oh no, I figured that instead of like, talking around it and talking at audience and all that good stuff, I figure that why not talk directly? Definitely if I'm saying something about you or you saying something about me, I figure why not talk directly. I've been with you on that. I think this whole kind of ordeal is gay and should be ended. However, I think in order for that to kind of be on the table, if that's something that we both want, you remember I told you this initially, we need to be honest about it, and let's not act like this is one of those, hey, this is this guy versus that guy thing. That's not what this is. I didn't start this.
You definitely did not.
I had nothing to do with any of that. But yeah, it's reached kind of a level that is, it's gay. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, and to be very clear, I don't know if you heard or saw, or maybe you did and you didn't think it was genuine, and I don't know. But I did say that, Riley going to your place of business, while I don't think it was illegal, and we may have some disagreements over that, and there may be details that I can't see in regards to the property, but from what I've seen, I don't think it's illegal, but I did say, bad move, he shouldn't do it, given the tension. I think it's a really, really bad play. I don't like people doing that shit. I wouldn't want them doing it to me either. I get it.
All right, Eric, ignore those super chats, you son of a bitch. Eric keeps ignoring my super chats, so I brought him $50. I also vandalized his building with these stickers. We'll see what he has to say about that.
From what I've seen, I don't think it's illegal, but I did say bad move. He shouldn't do it. Given the tension, I think it's a really, really bad play. I don't like people doing that shit. I wouldn't want them doing it to me either. I get it. So that was the thing I said last night when it was brought up to me. I wasn't aware of it until someone super chatted, and I had to like look in. I might have seen it or something, but someone super chatted, and I addressed it right then in my last stream. So I do not think he should have gone to your place of business at all. But at the same time, like if people ask me about legalities, specifically self-defense, like I'm going to give them my legal opinion. That's still true. And I think right before we got, or that I saw that you were in chat, I was saying that there are two practicalities, right? There's what you can legally do, and then there's what you should and shouldn't do. And I think what Riley did is something you shouldn't do. So I want to be very clear on that.
What's up, Bunny Battalion? It's me, ASE Riley, the king of the Clippaverse, young Clippa 6'9", and I'm here to totally vandalize Ethan Van Sciver's warehouse with money, with bunny money. Look at that. Look at what we're doing, and there's nobody who can stop us. There's no... Oh, shit.
What the fuck you guys doing?
I didn't think you were gonna be here.
How come I only get $2, asshole? You gave the other guy 41.
He said he's gonna call the cops. We're gonna go. We're gonna go. Come on. We're gonna go. Get into the car. We're gonna go. He's gonna call the cops. All right. I pulled up on Ethan Van Sciver and it didn't go as planned. I might have to stop doing this.
Should and shouldn't do. I think what Riley did is something you shouldn't do. So I want to be very clear on that.
And I'm cool with that. There is a point of contention there. I'm obviously not a lawyer, but I'm at least familiar enough with it, certainly with our team, as well as what's actually happening on it. Again, my issue with it is less legal versus illegal anyway. But again, I do question that whole legality aspect of it all because, I make the argument, and certainly everybody here is making the argument that for sure, definitely considering at nighttime, that is criminal mischief, right? Definitely because he's writing on stuff and he's putting notes up and all that good stuff. And in Texas, if you don't know, you can, by the way, and this is not anything that I'm advocating, right? I want to be very clear about that. But, definitely because we're talking about the legality of deadly force and all that good stuff in Texas, you're committing a criminal mischief at night, you absolutely have the right. It's right there in Section 9 of the Texas Penal Code. And, you can read it verbatim. It specifically addresses you being able to use deadly force for someone committing criminal mischief at night on your property. So, but however, that aside, because that was never really on the table, the argument about that, I don't know if you're more so hearing that from be it our audiences or something of that nature as far as deadly force. The only argument that I've made is that it is irrational for someone that does not want to be there, that people don't want to be there, right? And there is more information on that for someone to come there, right? Definitely with us having armed guards there and, committing any sort of weird stuff. That's just not rational for anybody, especially people that, considering that I'm not there and, you're dealing with other people and their individual livelihoods, because look, you might think it's a joke and it's all good and all fun and games, Nick, but for us,
I clearly stated I don't think that it was a good thing to do.
Right. And I just wanted to be clear that I definitely, as a business owner, cannot afford to treat it as if it's just, hey, it's something that's a joke and it's just jokes, bro. Definitely considering that, again, I'm not ever there, and that is a building that other people don't like weird folks doing weird stuff, be it to the building, because nobody knows if it's going to escalate to anything else. And I don't know these cats, but that's not something that I would take lightly either way it goes. So legality aside, that is something that I think is just weird and kind of off the wall.
Yeah, of course. And obviously the law doesn't matter if you got a hole in you, right? Like, it doesn't matter for that guy. That guy's dead. He's done. And people who do that, again, Alex Stein does that shit. I'm not a big fan of that. I like when he goes to the public meetings. I think that's funny. But when you go into other people's businesses and into other people's lives, I mean, you are taking risk, legal, not legal. No bones about that. But I gotta, one, I'll affirm what you said. Texas does have a use of deadly force in defense of property against criminal mischief only at night. I'm unclear. Did he show up at night or during the day? Because
he showed that whole deal where he left the markings and all the drawings and stuff on it. That was at night. He showed that whole deal where he left the markings and all the drawings and stuff on it. That was at night. Left the markings and all the drawings and stuff. He showed that whole deal where he left the markings and all the drawings and stuff on it. That was at night.
All right, Eric, ignore those super chats, you son of a bitch.
He showed that whole deal where he left the markings and all the drawings and stuff on it. That was at night. He showed that whole deal where he left the markings and all the drawings and stuff on it. That was at night. Left the markings and all the drawings and stuff. He showed that whole deal where he left the markings and all the drawings and stuff on it. That was at night.
That's at night. Like, what time of night? What time?
That was like, I'm not exactly it was around like 11 something like that. It was well within the night. The sun was completely down.
Yeah, it's like pretty well, the video is well lit. I don't know where the light's coming from.
Well,
but
no,
like,
not when he stuck that. I mean, maybe it was well lit in terms of the light, but it was clear that night when he did it. There was no, he didn't. The only thing that he did was kind of weird. He kind of drove in and he backed up and he drove past it during the day and took a picture. But other than that, that was it. He never did anything like that during the day. That was at night. There was nobody there.
Sure. And I don't know. So I'm taking your word at it, full faith. Like I have no problem accepting that it was at night. I wanted to clarify from someone who knew, because like I said, from the video, it's never clear how lighting shit plays out. So with that said though, the funny part about law is like, there are disagreements over stuff that many people find obvious. And I got to take one issue with you just on the criminal mischief, which is what Texas calls vandalism. Criminal mischief almost always requires some level of damage or burden on someone. So I think you're running a real risk with suggesting that stickers on a window is going to come out to be criminal
According
mischief.
to the penal code, though, it specifically says markings include inscriptions, slogans, and drawings. That's all it says. So whether it's damage, I mean, if you're talking about damage, yes, that's included. If you can break the window and do all that good stuff, obviously that is completely obvious. And, you know, I'm willing to accept a disagreement, but certainly our guys on that side don't see it that way. And to be honest, you know, I think that's what matters. However, and it's not like, again,
no shit. Well, our guys don't really see it that way, and you know,
like, no, it's not what matters though, because what matters is what a prosecutor sees, right?
Exactly.
And how the law is played out. And so I'm gonna offer a mild rebuttal and simply say that inscriptions, markings, and stuff like that is referring to graffiti, to marker, to something that's actually applied to the property that would take some sort of effort to remove. And if you read a little farther into the statute, you'll actually see them explain that there has to be some sort of pecuniary loss or economic burden in either the damage to the property or the removal from the property. And mere incidental annoyances and removing something like a sticker doesn't usually measure up. Now, of course, there are some stickers, right? That a huge sticker that you slap on, you got to hire someone to like use solvents and shit to remove it. These look like relatively small stickers that would pop off without any effort. I think you'd be on real shaky ground. Not you, sorry, you weren't there, but anyone would be on real shaky ground trying to justify putting a hole in someone over those stickers, or even suggesting that a prosecutor would, or a cop even would write an infractionary ticket on this misdemeanor offense. Like, there's no way, man. It's not spray paint.
Well, again, it's not necessarily we see it that way. Definitely considering that, you know, there were drawings that were actually there, and there's some weird stuff that was read on it. And, you know, I'm not going to sit up here, wrote on it. I'm not going to sit here and repeat it by any means. But, you know, I see that, you know, that being your sort of position, and that it's always been the case, or you feel like that's generally the case of to justify putting a hole or attempting to put a hole in someone. Our guys don't see it that way, and I've seen people get aired out for a lot less. However, I don't even think
I would highly suggest an alternative opinion on counsel if you think a sticker with a $20 bill under it justifies. If that's their legal advice,
not the argument though. That's where I think the gaslighting is, though, Nick, because that's not the position. The position isn't that, okay, I'm trying to make the argument that to justify putting a hole in someone. What I'm talking about, and what the only argument it is that I'm making in this regards, because again, shooting someone over a sticker, that would be silly. Though it wasn't simply that. I think it's being kind of disingenuous to even just kind of classify it as, oh, this guy just merely, just being funny, just put a couple of stickers up that was, you know, they just threw on there, and like that, there was nothing being said or no drawings or any of that.
All right, Eric, ignore those super chats, you son of a bitch.
Shooting someone over a sticker, that would be silly. Though it wasn't simply that. I think it's being kind of disingenuous to even just kind of classify it as, oh, this guy just merely, just being funny, just put a couple of stickers up that was, you know, he just threw on there, and like that, there was nothing being said or no drawings or any of that. Shooting someone over a sticker, that would be silly. Though it wasn't simply that. I think it's being kind of disingenuous to even just kind of classify it as, oh, this guy just merely, just being funny, just put a couple of stickers up that was, you know, they just threw on there, and like that, there was nothing
being said or no drawings or any of that had
Well, that could
anything to
change
do
the
with that.
equation. I don't know what the
Well,
was there a threat of violence?
Well, yeah, of course there's been
Okay.
actionable threats. And my
What's
argument, but even
What's
that
the threat?
How the fuck did he get all this cash for a fucking comic book that sucks? I can't. Maybe I should have went into the comic business. I don't know. And wore blackface.
The reason the guy was there was because of that. He's recorded himself on video saying that, well, this is supposedly an actionable threat. Whether you now the argument is that we think
Riley's retarded. His legal opinions are
all right,
irrelevant.
well, no, I'm saying that that's what.
Like,
all right,
what's
all
the
right,
threat?
all right. So my position is someone, first of all, is stalking for someone to drive across the country to appear at a business that again isn't public. And when I say it's not public, Ricada, I'm not saying that someone can't access it. That's not the argument it is that I'm making. I'm saying that this is not something that there's no commerce happening there, right? In that specific building that we are at.
All right, let's be clear. There's no commerce happening in his building. It's a public car park. There is more than just his building at that location that do commerce. It's open for the public to park, to visit the businesses that are there. His business may be private. The public lot is not. But listen to how Eric words all of this. It's just very frustrating to know what is the truth and listen to how a certain person spins it. He may not be technically lying, but misrepresenting, lying by omission, possible. You know, I really wanted to get behind and back Eric, come to his aid, come to his defense. But the more I'm looking into this shit, the more this shit is of Eric's own causing. How did it piss off the Clippaverse guy that began? Well, Eric decided to flag him down like a true SJW. I'm not even joking. The more I look into this and the more you track the events back, Eric is the reason that this is happening to Eric. Now, the fact that he sold an idea and a lot of people back that idea, great. Can only sell an idea once. The story has to hold your audience, and the story sucks. Sorry, Eric. It may hold a few people, but it's not going to hold the millions. And that's why a lot of us are sitting back watching this train wreck. Because believe me, this is a train wreck waiting to happen. But the train doesn't know it yet.
There's no commerce happening there, right? In that specific building that we are at. The only way that you can get in, there are two ways that you can get in. There's a gate, there's a private gate that you can get in that way, or you can drive. There is a road where you can kind of drive in, but that does not face, it's not a road.
You can drive into a driveway into the parking lot, right?
Yeah, you can drive into a driveway into the parking lot, and that's why our stuff is strategic.
Is there a gate on that driveway into the parking lot?
No. There's not into that parking lot. No, there's no gate. The gate is around on the other side, which is the only other way to access it. However, where we're at, you cannot drive. There's no place to go going that direction towards our building. That will then, like, you can't. There's no reason to be over there other than, let's say, again, you're coming to see us, you're invited or something of that nature. There's no drive-through. Like, our building is sectioned that way, the way that it is. It's us, and that's it. That gate that is there, and that's it. You cannot drive through our building to get, or our side of that building to get somewhere else. That's not how.
Is there a gate blocking off that side of the building?
That's correct. On that side, there absolutely is a gate blocking both sides, actually, because on the end of that street, or not a street, I guess that road, whatever you want to call it, it is the drive, the parking lot, right? If you will, there are two gates on either side. This is why he drove through, had to turn around to get out, because that's the only way that you can get in or out on that particular side. So again,
clarify, please. Sorry, can you said at first that there was a gate on one side, but the other side didn't have a gate, and there was a driveway from the road into.
Correct. That side is still the same, but what I mean, you have to see it, is what it is that I'm saying.
You have a picture?
The other, I'm certainly not showing it online. I do have one for sure. And I'm sure.
Can you privately send it to me? I won't pull it up. Can you message it to me?
I guess, yeah, but I'm gonna explain how it is that it is. Yes, sure. Nick, you can get to it from the road and there's no gate there. What I'm saying is the only other way to get in is a gate on the opposite side. So for example, our building is at the end of this lot. If you want to call it that, you can get out during that lot, but there are 2 gates on both sides, right? That's the only way you can get in and the only way you can get out without driving through the side that the idiot came from, right?
But
that's what I'm saying.
I know, but this is so confusing because now you're saying there's gates on either side.
Yes.
But then you're saying that he drove through another side and got in.
So look at it like 3 sides because there's nothing but fencing on the other on one side, right? So you have a fence. Look at it like this, like you got a fence, right? And then on opposite sides of that fence, right, is our building, right? You can get out. So get on the street, do whatever you need to do. There are 2 sides. If you went left or if you went right, there are gates on both sides. There is only one way if you're not entering through that gate to get into where our building is. Not everybody else's building. To get into where our building is, there's only one way to get in, not using those 2 gates.
So there's a way to get in without using the gate.
Correct.
Okay, but yeah, like you see the issue there, right? That there is a publicly accessible way in without a gate.
Issue as far as what?
Well, I mean,
it was at this moment Nick realized just how dumb Eric July was.
Okay, so you can have, if you have 3 entrances and 2 gates, and one of them is just an ungated entrance to a public road, that's not fenced in. That's not gated.
Not from that side. It's not. No.
Yeah, no.
But I'm saying, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean as far as with the issue? I'm not understanding what it is you're meaning there.
Well, if you can drive in from a public road, I'm having trouble seeing it as private is all.
See, all right. So now it's more of a I guess semantics, or you want to argue illegal. I'm not trying to understand, man. I'm not making an argument that you can't get there. Like anybody can't just drive up into let's say, to get to our building. That's not the argument I'm making. The only position it is that I have is that our building, as far as accessing it and being in there, like anywhere near there, the only reason why someone would need to be there is if they were invited there.
Or they just drove into the driveway.
Yeah, you just drove into. When I'm talking about
but you don't need an invitation to drive into the driveway, right?
No, you don't need an invitation to drive into the driveway. What I'm saying is there's no reason for someone to be there. I think there's been some confusion because some people maybe saw like a logo on the side or something. They thought it was a storefront that was facing the store. It's not.
Oh no, I don't think it's a storefront.
Well, I'm just making the case, but that's what I mean, and that's the point of contention, Nick. When I'm saying like, hey, it's not this guy showed up to a place that is a private location. It's not our public address. There's no reason for there to be commerce or anything as far as us doing business with other people. There's no you can't even get into our actual building without either keypad access or what have you. That's the only way you can get inside our actual.
Did he go in the building?
No, he didn't go in it.
Okay,
he wouldn't have been able to get in there. Yeah.
On the open side that he would have had to drive through to get in, because obviously he doesn't have the gate key. And you said, I think you said he drove in from that open side, right? Is there like a sign that says no access or private property or anything like that? No trespassing? Is there any clear posting that would indicate to someone they can't come in there?
And Nick Rakita comes in with yet another slam dunk. We've seen a lot of backtracking over the course of this match. The public are wondering just what will be Eric July's next pivot.
No.
And Eric's replied, it was exactly what Nick was looking for. And now we see that Nick's about to set up the kill shot.
Is there a no trespassing sign at least? Well, no, there's not. Oh, okay.
Okay, you're on real shaky ground saying it's private then, man.
And there it is. He's on shaky ground. Remember just what Eric is attempting to sell here. Private versus public.
Like legally.
Right. Again, you're using private in a context that I'm not using it in.
And there it is. Context. Eric July pivots on context. Apparently, Eric has his own definition of the word, which does not apply to how the rest of the world use these terms.
So I'm okay with you using it legally.
Mine's the legal context because I'm answering legal questions. That's all.
Correct. And I totally empathize with that and what it is you're saying. That has absolutely nothing to do with the argument it is that I'm making.
Okay, cool. That's fine.
That I have.
Hey, well then what? You're not making a legal argument then. You can't shit somebody then.
I've never. Obviously, yeah, he was there. No shit. You can get there by just driving up in there. That's never been the point of contention by anybody here.
Okay.
The only
Gotcha.
argument that we're making when we're talking about public versus private is that it's not a storefront. There's no reason for anybody to be over there. We don't have that as our public address. There's no reason for anybody to be there. That's the only position it is that we have on that.
So when you say there's no reason to be there, I'm just curious, like, and don't take this the wrong way because I'm trying to understand what's the relevance of that.
The relevance of that, because there was no reason for him to be there.
Right, but like,
Other than
do you
just
need a
fucking
reason to be somewhere in the U.S.?
Say what?
Do you need a reason to be somewhere in the United States?
As far as what?
I don't know.
Well,
I mean,
the
like,
guy went there. All right, so
I
the
sat in
only
a parking lot the other day. I didn't have a reason. I just needed a place to
right.
park.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
I know he's there. I know he's there to visit your business.
Well, that's
in
the
a
only point it is that I'm
antagonistic
making.
way.
A psychopath showed up, and he was not invited there. That's the point it is that I'm making.
Is Riley? I mean, Riley's
Yeah.
dumb, but is he a psychopath?
Yeah, something like it. I like to think he's a crazy son of a bitch for sure.
Are you scared of Riley?
No.
Admitted he's not afraid. That's another right. You have to have a fear of imminent danger, bodily harm.
But I cannot not take that serious, considering that he showed up to a place of business that I'm not there, and I have employees. Nick, surely you can empathize with that, right? That
Again,
someone
I
sees
said
some
I wouldn't want him to
hold
do
on,
it to
let
me.
me finish real quick. Somebody sees a fat, stinky person, doing whatever gay shit outside of a building, right? And we know that the person drove across the fucking nation, right, to do this weird shit, and he's dicking around out front, and he's online high side and saying that he's gonna keep doing it. Surely you can at least admit that that is some weird shit, and that is a cause for concern for people, for security reasons that are there, especially other folks that work there, because we can't take the guy's word for it that it's just a joke. That's you can at least understand that, correct?
That's been my position the whole time. That
Okay,
what he did was dumb.
Okay, yeah, what he did was dumb, and that's what it is that I'm saying. As far as me being scared or me fearing for that has nothing to do with anything. I wasn't even there, and I'm not there, right? But other people are, and we can't sit up here and I can't afford to just be like, and nor can our security team afford to just be like, yeah, it's just a guy just dicking around. Like, we can't afford to do that. It's forgive me, I don't really trust him that's all that he'd leave it at, is just hot-siding on the internet and taking pictures and stuff.
I'm not saying you need to take his word on it. I'm just trying to get in the mindset here. So you say that you have to take it seriously. What do you mean by that? Like, what does that entail?
Just that. Like, we have to take it seriously. Like, I can't just sit up here and approach it as if it's just some guy that's joking, right? I have no idea if he's gonna come back, do some other gay shit, escalate that because he is bad shit. I have no idea, and it would be ill-advised, for lack of better terms, for us to pretend like nothing could come from that. Definitely considering that the guy is at least crazy enough to drive all the way over here to appear at an address that he had no business being there.
Where did he drive from?
I have no idea. He's not from here.
Well, you keep saying across the country, so I don't know. Like,
yeah, well, he's not from here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so he drove specifically from where he left to you to do this? Like that?
Correct. Yes.
Did you have any other purpose in driving across the country? Like,
I like to think not.
Well, you think not, or do you know?
I don't know.
Like, what if he was going somewhere else, like, and
just
stopped
happened
there
to
on the way?
Just stop by. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that it's not, even though he said that he was going to end up doing that, Nick, he just up and did it, and he would just happen to be in town.
Okay, but again, like, there's a lot of ascriptions that happen, and I'm trying to just get the story from it. Like, look, dude,
All right,
Riley,
so here's the story. The story is the guy is some weird shit, injected himself into into this goofy shit, and he went to our place, that a business that he had no business being at, and he showed up doing weird shit. And yes, that's going to be a cause of concern for the people that are there. And no, I'm not going to take it lightly. I can't afford to, because in the event that, let me say this, because in the event that it does escalate, I'm the one that has to deal with that.
Yeah, and so now I'm trying to get to the next step. So you said you got to take it serious. I agree. Did anybody ask him to leave?
Say what?
Did anybody ask him to leave the property?
Not to my knowledge. He never spoke to anybody here.
Did anybody call the police?
Well, I'm sure they did after the fact. Our security team, we had to, as a CYA.
Well, you're sure they did? Or,
yes, they had to, as a CYA. You could surely understand that, Nick.
I mean, I don't know that they had to. There's no.
Well,
legal
no,
requirement
I'm
for them
saying
to do
that you understand why, as a CYA, you gotta call the law boys.
I understand it would be reasonable. Did the police follow up? Is there an incident report?
Yes, correct. Yes.
Cool. Like that's a
Yeah.
good thing. I'm
Yeah,
glad
no,
that
it
that
is.
happened.
Again, that's as a CYA, I have to do that. I have to do that. And surely you understand that.
Yeah, of course. So, are the police going to pursue a trespass against him?
Oh, we'll see about that.
We'll see. They didn't indicate anything to you?
No, they have, but we'll see. Let's let them do their thing. Obviously, you
Okay.
understand why I wouldn't want to talk about all of that.
No, but that's
Okay.
fine. Like
Okay,
I'm
that's
not.
fine. That's fine.
I don't determine what people should and shouldn't do. So, like I'm not.
Okay. Well, just in case some shit hits the fan, I'm good on that. But yeah, they
Sure.
obviously are aware of it. They have to be.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not trying to say anything either way. I just I don't put words in people's mouths.
All right.
I just don't
All
do
right.
it.
All right.
So okay, so they call the police. Riley's gone before police show up. Did the police show up or did they just talk on the phone?
No, they went there. They went
Okay,
to they
cool.
went to the building. Yeah. Those security guys were all there. Yeah.
Okay, again, I don't know this, so I'm just asking for clarity because it's not online.
Mhm.
So or I haven't seen it if it is.
Mhm.
But so then the next question though is you mentioned like some writings and stuff like that.
All right, Eric, ignore those super chats, you son of a bitch.
He showed that whole deal where he left the markings and all the drawings and stuff on it. That was at night. He showed that whole deal where he left the markings and all the drawings and stuff on it. That was at night. Left the markings and all the drawings and stuff.
You mentioned like some writings and stuff like that, and you said actionable threat, and you've used a couple things, and this is a frustrating part about talking law because you've said a couple things that are terms of art in law that have specific definitions and specifically.
Okay, all right. So let me. All right, I'll go ahead and clarify what it exactly is that I mean.
Yeah.
And Eric comes in to hopefully clarify exactly what he means.
Thank
you. The weirdo has made it abundantly clear that he absolutely plans to continue to appear right wherever I'm at. And yeah, he's talked about this old gay shit of trying to shave someone's body and all that other gay shit, which is, again, that's fucking weird.
Could it be that Eric July is afraid of being shaved? Is it possible? Let's see where he goes with this.
But nonetheless,
do you think he's going to shave you?
Nick Rikita coming in with the hard questions. And it seems as if Eric July did not understand the question, or is he attempting to avoid it? No one knows at this point. It could go either way.
Do you think he's going to
I don't know what
like
the guy would attempt to do. I would hope like hell nobody would come up to me with a fucking razor because I'm gonna have to act accordingly. That'd be fucking goofy.
Stupid, right?
Yeah, that'd be stupid. But you just admitted that he's a fucking idiot earlier. So
no.
Yeah. All right. So yeah,
100%.
we can't pull it past him that he would try to actually do some old stupid shit like that.
But
as gay as it might be.
And it seems as if Eric July might just be afraid of being shaved. The public looks at those shoulders, Eric, and all we can see are 2 additional beards. Perhaps it may not be a bad idea to let this guy shave them. Think of it as a free haircut.
I'm gonna get right in there. I'm just gonna fucking shave his arm hair all the way off. Can't save yourself.
Again, clarifying because I'm just trying to have all the facts here.
Hey, Nick, coming in to course correct the conversation.
So the threats have entailed showing up where you are and presumably in public places. Like, for example, if you're going to go to a convention, he'd show up at a convention.
Well, that I don't know. I don't know exactly all of where because obviously the line that he's willing to cross is going to a place where we have my employees. So. Maybe he would show up to me somewhere else or something of that nature. But really, that's not the issue. I can handle myself and I can protect myself if some weirdo wanted to run up on me. In fact, I invite that if there was something that a conversation that someone wanted to have, definitely in the public sphere, I'm all for that. Like if I'm at a con, you want to have a discussion with me, that's fine. Don't show up to my house and do not show up to a place of like that I got employees. I feel like that's a reasonable thing, a reasonable ask.
So you're okay with people coming up to you randomly in public, but not coming up to a place of business?
Correct. Yeah, because that's dealing with other people that aren't me.
I mean, but did he deal with anybody that wasn't you?
Well, I have people that work there, right?
Right. Did he deal with it? You said no one spoke to him.
Right. Well, what it is that I'm saying is that he's appearing at a place that I have other people work at, Nick. So whether he
I hear
did
you.
it, yeah, that's the only point it is that I'm making. So don't come to my house. Don't come to a place of business. That's the only position it is that I have. If you want to have a discussion, whatever it is, just don't do any weird shit. I have to act accordingly if it's any weird shit. But yeah, coming to like a place where I got employees and all that, I feel like that's certainly drawing the line. You have no business being over there.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so getting back to it, the question is, the threats are showing up in public, which you now say you invite. So that can't be a threat then, right?
Yeah. Say what?
Showing up in public, like where you are, you said you're okay with that.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with that. I don't know what it is that he wouldn't do, but I would still act accordingly. Make no mistake. Like I have no idea to what all of that means, right? So, for anybody that I don't trust, I'm cautious and I'm weary. I'm aware of my surroundings. If it was cordial, all right, bet that. But if I got any sniff that it was anything but that, then I have to of course act accordingly. But that's not what it is that we're dealing with. We don't even need to be speaking in hypothetical situations. In that regards, at minimum, the guy's willing to, and he has, because he actually has. It's not that he's willing to show at a place that I have employees and stuff working in. That goes for anybody uninvited that they don't want there. That you can't do that.
Eric, I bet this guy can dribble some word salad.
So you have lawyers that you talk to about this situation. Like that's when you're saying our guys, you're talking about a legal team, right?
Oh dear, they're coming in at Eric's lawyers. For those of you that don't know, Nick is a lawyer himself. Some call him an internet lawyer, others call him the drunk lawyer. Let's see how this plays out. No doubt, Eric will act accordingly.
Yes.
Have they advised you to put I don't say what they've advised you to do. If they have not advised you to put up privacy signs on the open road that you can go into the parking lot with, like, again, you may need some counsel on some of this stuff that is.
Oh dear, it seems Nick may be a little too drunk to remember. This open road is a public road, open to the public. The only entrance to the public to enter the public parking lot, which is there for all the businesses on that lot. This isn't Eric Goli's private parking lot.
That's not the point of contention, man. Like,
of course, it's not a point of contention, Eric. It's a public fucking road leading to a very public fucking parking lot. You cannot put up private access signs. God damn, this bullshit has been going on for so fucking long now. Even I am becoming bored with it.
Look, I'm not oblivious to the fact that no matter where it is that I'm out, that also appears to my, applies to my house. Someone somewhere at some point is going to figure out where our various locations are at. So, and how to get to them if they actually want to. That doesn't matter who it is that you are. That's not the issue. The issue isn't simply that, a guy knew it where it was that we were at. It's the problem is that someone's willing to go out of their way to, whether it be for a long-standing gag or whatever it is, showing up at a place that I have other people working and employees. And again, I can't treat that like he wouldn't do anything else. That's just weird. That's just
which is why I'm suggesting that you should talk to your counsel about the reasonable aspect of putting up signs indicating it's not publicly accessible.
Which we can do that, but
no, Eric, you cannot do that. You and I, the entire fucking audience know it is a public car park, so no, you can't do that. Why the fuck are you wasting Nick's time with this bullshit? You know, if I was Nick and I reviewed this later on and found out just how disingenuous you have been and just how much of my own time you have wasted, I would be super pissed off with you.
That's not really the point. That's not the point of contention here. That was never anything that was argued at any point.
Probably will be on that trespass.
So Nick, you and I know that this dickhead has not charged anyone with trespassing. It can't. This is why Eric's brain has now skipped a beat. Eric is trying to remember what he was talking about. Better remind him, Nick.
Like for the cops, like it probably will be a point on the trespass.
Well, again,
like if I was his lawyer, I would say,
right, okay, yeah.
There's a publicly accessible road and an open driveway that you can drive into.
That's not at all the issue it is that I have here, Nick. The issue is not that he was able to even get over there. That's not the point of contention by any means. So while I understand what it is that you're saying, as far as, I would advise you to do all this and that, all that has been taken care of, but that's not the thing that I take exception to.
Well, ain't this just a broken record? Who here can guess what Eric takes exception to?
Yeah, of course, man. People can get to a warehouse or wherever it is that you're at. Again, that can also apply. That can apply to my house. You know what I mean? People eventually will find where to be and all other stuff. But that's not what it is that I'm contending. I'm contending no matter if you know where it is or not. I feel like I'm at least owed the courtesy of someone not showing up uninvited to do kind of weird stuff. It definitely, once you made it abundantly clear that you don't really got it all upstairs.
Courtesy, Eric. Doesn't Nick deserve the courtesy of the fucking truth? Doesn't Nick deserve the courtesy of not having his fucking time wasted by your bullshit?
And I agree with you, but you just said it's the same as your house. It's actually not the same as your house.
All right. In the sense of what it is that I'm saying, Nick, I get that.
I'm trying to help you make it the same as your house.
Nick, I get that a house and a business is different. You don't have to legally explain it to me. I understand that.
You're taking this the wrong way, man. You're thinking I'm trying to tell you that you're in the wrong, and I'm trying to
No,
tell
I'm
you
not. No, I'm not saying that you're trying to tell me I'm in the wrong, Nick. All I'm saying is what I'm referring to when I say that it doesn't matter. And the point of contention it is that I have with why I take exception to it has absolutely nothing to do with whether or not it is my house, whether or not it is building A, B, or C it is that we have. You surely understand it. I'm not foolish enough to think that there's not a difference between my business and a house. I know there very well is. I know that even from a legal perspective, there can be some differentiation there. I am totally aware of that, but that's not the point of contention. That's not what it is that I'm saying.
All right, I'm trying to help, but that's fine.
And I appreciate that. I appreciate you trying to help, Nick.
Okay, so are there any other threats? So the one threat I've heard is that he was going to hold you down, shave your arms, which I think is ridiculous, but you have no reason to believe, and I have no reason to believe he's not serious. I don't know. So that I've heard that, and then it was a public thing, but you just said that if it is in a public place, like you welcome that so long as people are cool. So then what was there another threat? Is there something else?
That's good enough. That's good enough. Yeah, that's good enough. And even doing that, saying that all that weird stuff online, the guys are free to say that. Only place I draw the line is just don't show up to a person's house, be it myself, employees, and don't show up to the job. That's it.